So Elon Musk, the Tesla CEO, lies a lot about Tesla. But as it turns out, he also lies about video games. Yes, this is a real story. Check out the headlines here. Gamers are accusing Elon Musk of cheating at popular video games by allegedly turning to loopholes and hiring better users to play for him. And this is such a bizarre story, but it shows and gives an inside look about kind of who Elon Musk is as a human being, as a person, because I know a lot of people think Elon Musk is a god and an infallible deity, but it turns out not the case. He's a human being just like anyone else. Basically, I'll give you the gist of it is a lot of people have been asking me about this one. Hey, what do you think about Elon Musk and this whole video game controversy thing? Basically, there's a lot of people on YouTube who are really good at video games, right? That's what their whole channels are about. And so if you play a game a long time, you can spot like when someone doesn't know what they're talking about. I'm talking about video games here. So Elon Musk will stream his games, and evidently in this latest game, Path of Exile, I guess he's got like all the best items in the game, right? And he's like at a super high level. And then when you watch him play streaming, he can't even really navigate the interface, right? He doesn't know the game very well. And his items are like, he doesn't know what he's talking about, stuff like that. And if you want to find those videos, you can. The point being, though, is that if Elon Musk lies about his companies and even lies about video games, right, and then pays people evidently to play these games for him, like, what's going on with this guy? Like, why is he so sensitive about even, that he has to be the best at playing video games? It's weird. But this is a larger issue, and what's even more crazy is people still follow this dude. This is sort of why I'm pointing this out, because if you lie about the small things, or you're lying about the big things, etc., you're frankly a liar. That's what it is. Now, when he comes out with this kind of stuff, it's hard to know what to make of it. So, for example, this is just today. Recovering from neck surgery hurts a lot, but it was necessary, right? And we know he lies about video games. We know he lies about his company. Would he lie about neck surgery? Maybe. I don't know. This part I don't know. I really don't know. I have no proof one way or the other, but I just know in the past he's lied about all sorts of stuff. Because like this kind of thing, for example, let's say he had some sort of problem with substances, had to check himself into hospital. There's that. Or let's say, for example, he had like a fight with his, lovers or whatever. So, he wanted to take a time out like that. I don't know. I honestly don't know. That's what I'm saying. And then I'll give you an example, because just 7 hours ago, there's an account called Adrian Dittmann, and he's playing Path of Exile, and he sounds just like Elon Musk. So there's always been rumors that this is indeed one of Elon Musk's alt accounts.
And it doesn't matter what side they're on. There's always going to be bad apples. You're gonna have like you're gonna have fringe right, fringe left. They're both kind of like a bit of a problem in their own respects. Because I mean, look, the further you go, you just kind of go back around the other way. You know what I mean? So realistically, it's not one side is correct. The idea is to be as close to the center as possible, and that applies to virtually every direction.
Is it Elon Musk himself? I don't know. I think it is myself, but I don't know. And that's the kind of crazy crap that we deal with Elon Musk. But you have to understand, again, putting it all together, if he lies about the small things, lies about the big things, then it's really hard to trust him on anything that he says. On top of that, you have this strange cult following, which I point out all the time, because people are always curious about this stuff, especially if you're new to this Elon game, how deep this rabbit hole goes. So there's an account here called Doze Designer, okay? And this is, I'm not sure. This could be another Elon alt. It could be like essentially Elon controls the account, or it could be one of his employees. I don't know. But I just know they're always interacting. So, for example, this person or account is tweeting out at 15 hours ago, Elon Musk recently underwent neck surgery and is recovering well, wishing him speedy recovery and good health. And then that person also tweeted out like this old picture of Elon with the sumo thing. I didn't even know about this story. That's how like crazy this world is. I guess Elon had some sort of injury with the sumo. And then there's also this. Even though Elon supposedly has a neck injury, and I don't know, guys, I repeat, I don't know. He was like so bold enough to challenge Mark Zuckerberg to a fight. Zuckerberg's like, okay, fine, let's fight. And then Elon Musk pulled out and said, oh, my doctor wouldn't let me. And like these kind of stuff, who knows? But that's the point, though, is that when someone's not trustworthy, which Elon has a massive history of being untrustworthy, why does anyone follow this guy? And this is why it's fun to talk about this story, because it is such a bizarre cult. Someone in our community actually talked about it as well. Thought this was a funny comment. This is coming from Lee. Lee says, Donald Trump is a slum lord and Elon Musk is a used car salesman. No way they would lie to me, laughy face. And the point being is, right, the older you get, and if you've been around the block, right, if you have any interaction with, a scummy landlord, which would be essentially a Donald Trump, or a scummy used car salesman, which is essentially Elon Musk, you kind of get it. But if you're young, which I think, and this is sort of what is fascinating, which I think a lot of the people who follow and adore Elon Musk are a bunch of, young dudes who can't get girlfriends. But to be fair, there's a lot of middle-aged dudes that kind of fit that category. They all worship Musk. This particular video game latest controversy with Musk, I think may actually hurt him a lot, because a lot of the sort of those, what's the right word to say it? Well, let's say young men who, need a father figure like a Musk or something like that. This should be pretty damaging to him, to saying, hey, the dude even lies about video games. But who knows? I can't control the thoughts and minds of these young kids. But what I can say is that I can point out sort of the crazy culture and show you guys, with evidence of what's going on here. So, for example, Amit, this is one of the Elon Musk fan accounts. There's a bunch of these out there. He's tweeting out how awesome he loves FSD, and Elon Musk reposts it. And this then gets 1.7 million, views or whatever. And remember, these people get paid through Twitter. So if you're ever curious, like, how does Elon Musk pay these people? This is one way. There's other ways you can do it, because all these people have, like, t-shirt sales and this kind of stuff. And so the crazy thing about it is that for someone to say, well, Chris, Elon's robots and robot driving is awesome. Look at, I just saw a post on someone that Elon Musk boosted and how awesome the driving is. But you have to understand, this is part of the smoke and mirrors of Elon and Tesla. They actually can put extra engineers on one of their VIP influencers and make sure that their experience is better than other people's. So be it, who knows if they just literally have a person right there behind them in a car, remote controlling their car, who knows? Who knows if they're putting up geofences kind of thing to make sure the thing runs on a track. Because we've seen this stuff before being reported, where Elon Musk and Tesla will essentially lie about the performance of their cars and their advertising, or from insiders in the company will say, hey, extra engineers are again on the VIP experience. So that's why always be leery of the stuff that Elon Musk tweets out and the people that he promotes and their stock promoters. Or something like this. This was actually comments underneath that same post regarding the FSD stuff. This is the Ian, I don't know who that is, but he says, enjoy your content, 5-minute clip here. And he's retweeting this Urban On guy, and he was talking to a certain guy. And basically, these people put up these crazy spreadsheets, and they essentially, show it to an audience that is frankly dumb. I'm a little mean, but just frankly dumb. And say, oh, guys, look, I put together a spreadsheet, and I know you're not smart enough to even know what a spreadsheet is. And look at all these amazing numbers that we're going to do. And I think if you look at these things, it's like, okay, I guess we're going from, is this 8 trillion robots, humanoid robots, to 16 trillion, to 24 trillion, to 32 trillion. Like, guys, we're just gonna make a bunch of money. That's what this boils down to. Have a listen to a little bit of this and see for yourself.
An economy with unlimited labor, and we've never had that before in human history. And then furthermore, we know that Elon has designs of making humanity a multiplanetary species. And actually on the next slide is a post from him on that. Becoming multiplanetary is critical to ensuing the long-term survival of humanity and all life as we know it. So we must also at some point consider the use of bots off of Earth, on the moon, on Mars, and who knows where else. So we're not constrained by just 2 or 3 times human population.
Or this person will show you charts like this, and everything always goes to the moon. That's what it's always about. It always goes to the moon. And the crazy stuff is I think some of these people actually believe the words that they say. Other ones are just really good at lying. Have a look. I want to hear your thoughts. Are these guys, are they purposely lying, or they actually believe the words that are coming out of their mouth? Have a listen.
And if these cost estimates and margins are somewhat accurate, then yeah, that's going to be a very, very big business, especially if we just went through the fact that Amazon needs to do it because UPS is doing it, because FedEx is also doing it. It kind of feels like the internet, where like if you don't have a website, you're screwed.
This is even more important than that. This is labor, which is, again, the biggest part of GDP. This is mission critical for any company that employs physical labor. Yeah, the internet's huge. The internet is massive, but I think this is bigger than that.
I mean,
this is what...
I was going to say, the fact that even Jensen Huang says that AI is a bigger opportunity than the internet, and robotics is kind of, I mean, it's all coming together in terms of what this looks like.
So for me, I never know with the cult followers. It's hard to say, to be honest, because they can be very convincing. They're saying this completely ludicrous nonsense stuff, but they're very very convincing at it. And actually, that's how these sort of cults and scams work. It's all a con game, right? It's all about selling confidence.
I think the implications are absolutely profound. The other time in history we had unlimited labor was when there was slave labor. And we had things like the pyramids that were built, which today would be so cost prohibitive to consider building a pyramid. We wouldn't do it. We haven't done it in centuries. Right. And not that we should be, but if we have unlimited labor, just imagine the things that we could do on this planet and will do.
Now, this does have real world ramifications. So I know we make jokes about this stuff. We make jokes about video games, Elon Musk fighting Zuckerberg, whatever these nonsense people were saying. But it does have real consequences. And as you know, Elon Musk is getting more and more heavily involved with the politics of Britain. There was a really interesting poll that just came out recently, and this was saying here, majority of Britons believe Musk having negative impact on UK politics. It was something like 53% of the Brits are like, dude, this is no good. What are you doing? And then only like 12% thought that it was positive. Now, obviously it's hard to know for sure exactly what the sentiment is in the UK, but I'll say this. Even if it's just 12% of the people of the UK that, like Elon Musk, it can be a sizable enough amount to where if you're fervent and, you follow the words that everything this guy says, and if he says, hey, this is the person and this is their address, right? They're the cause of all your problems. It becomes really, really serious risks. And as you guys know, and this is sort of why we talk about this stuff, it has ramifications that we've seen before in history. So, for example, I just showed you UK to where maybe 12% of the people like Musk, something like that. Then you got the whole AfD party in Germany, which is the far right. And Musk is giving official endorsements. And so right now you have protesters. I guess the AfD is having some sort of conference. One of their leaders, recently is calling for like mass deportation of a bunch of people. And then it's not everyone is on the AfD side. Like I think they're running second in the polls though, so they're actually gaining popularity. But there is a large proportion that is also protesting them. And point being though is that the world that we see online, and even though for some people it's all sort of like game world, like even though we're talking about real world things, not just video games, but like politics or what's happening in the daily news events. Some people I'll treat all of that like a joke and like a game, but it bleeds into the real world, right? And so I'll try to make it more clear. So basically, you have a bunch of like young kids who troll in every post, put emojis in every post, and like they consider human interactions to be like game, right? They're just always that sort of young kid persona or keyboard warrior, that kind of stuff. But that sort of keyboard warrior persona can bleed into the real world, and sort of has real world consequences, right? As we saw, say with the election when Donald Trump actually won. And I say actually won because any reasonable person could look at this and say, obviously Donald Trump's a liar and a scammer, the same way that Elon Musk is. But again, there's a lot of gullible people out there. The big issue right now, say in Germany, this headline here, Musk pushes AfD German officials considering ditching X. That's going to be the interesting question. Say with Zuckerberg or say with Elon Musk, will the advertisers all leave and essentially these ventures become, bleeding cash? And then we're also watching too, will Tesla sales, basically collapse this year? All these things coming together, sort of why we track this stuff, has important implications to our daily lives. And also too, it's an interesting story in the markets because it demonstrates sort of the bubble that we're in. So like to hear your thoughts on any one of these things. What do you think about the Adrian Dittmann stuff? Is that really Elon? What do you think about Elon Musk cheating at video games? And what does that say about his persona? And what do you think about this crazy cult following? Do they believe the stuff that comes out of their mouth, or are they all liars as well, just like Elon? Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.